UK comedians are being arrested for tweeting jokes. Malcom Glawell admits he was a coward, and Putin and Xi are definitely harvesting organs in order to achieve immortality. It is a full dumpster fire today, and I'm feeling feisty.
Somebody stop me!
There's so much going on in the world. It's endless. I could write a We Didn't Start the Fire song about it. China wants to take over your children's minds. The UK has bludgeoned free speech while roving gangs of immigrants are assaulting girls with no consequence, all under the shadow of anti-Semitic fervor gripping the world as Israel fights for its right to exist. Meanwhile, while the world is burning down everywhere, American media is obsessed with the escalating war. The escalating meme war between Donald Trump and Gavin Newsom.
The Democrats' biggest gamble yet to try to fight back against Trump. And he is doing it, well, through the art of the troll.
We are not a serious country, folks. If you're in England, I'm just going to warn you up front, don't share this episode of Dumpster Fire because you'll probably get arrested straight to prison. You'll get a knock on your door and 5 weird guys who don't even have guns probably and round little hats will be like, please come with us. You're under arrest for your memes.
And then they'll tase you.
And then they'll fucking whack your knees with their baton or whatever they're allowed to have in their dumb little country.
Calm down, ma'am. It's all under control. I've got a whistle, a cloth helmet, a key to a coal box, a soft rubber truncheon, and a map of the city.
I'm Bridget Phetasy, and this is your Dumpster Fire. Welcome to Dumpster Fire, where we make burgers out of your sacred cows. We premiere new episodes every Tuesday and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Please join us in the chat. If you want to keep track of everything we do, the best way is to go to Phetasy.com to see all the content we're churning out, which is a lot. Some, myself included, might say it's too much.
Too many notes, Your Majesty.
Exactly. Very well put. Too many notes.
Make Orwell fiction again. I mean, truly Orwellian shit. It's so bad. I kind of brush over it because I can't even look at it. Free speech is just getting worse all over the world. Mm-hmm. And I look for the bright side, but I don't see one.
Breaking news, everything is bad. It's just as terrible as you imagined and probably worse. With more, we go to Tom Lee Cruz. Tom Lee.
We're all in danger, Dan Lee.
Jesus Christ, what can we do?
Absolutely nothing.
This week, comedy writer Graham Lennon was arrested at London Heathrow Airport on suspicion of inciting violence. He was returning from a trip to America when 5 police officers pulled him off the plane and detained him for tweets he posted on X in April. He tweeted something, it was like a joke. If a trans-identified male is in a female-only space, he is committing a violent, abusive act. Make a scene, call the cops, and if all else fails, punch him in the balls. Obviously, it's a joke. He's not advocating for people to run around and nut punch men dressed as women. If anything, he's calling out the violence, the predatory behavior of men who have found their way into women's private spaces. J.K. Rowling described it as totalitarianism. By the way, she receives death threats all day long. Do any of these people get arrested? No, none of them get arrested. I'm surprised J.K. hasn't gotten arrested at this point. I do think they wanted to, and they were hinting that they would, and she was like, come fucking get me. Sorry, JK. I don't know how to tell you this, but women are no longer a protected class unless they used to be men.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Patriarchy? So crafty. I mean, the UK is lost. It's lost. People aren't allowed to say we've got this migration problem. We imported this culture that's got Pakistani rape gangs. You can't mention any of that. You can't even send your friend a meme about it, or you'll get a knock on your door. You can have a Pakistani raping your teen daughter without recourse, but you can't put up a meme about it. It is so fucked. It is so fucked. I can't believe we're even having this conversation. And it's a conversation many of us have been having for about a decade when it comes to the UK, because they've been headed in this direction for quite some time, where you're just not allowed to make any jokes that might be deemed offensive.
Yeah, we live in a post-joke world.
And this is why free speech is so important, guys. It's so important. It's frustrating because this is one of those things that lots of people on the left who have good intentions or don't have good intentions, they'll say, this is this thing that's not happening. And then you dig into it, and it's actually happening a lot more than you would even believe. We had Greg Lukianoff on this week's Real America, and in the UK, he was saying there are 30 arrests a day for censorship. And that's more than 10,000 people a year. So since 2021, about 10,000 people a year have been arrested for memes or tweets. And I don't know why anyone in the UK would even risk posting anything online right now. And Graham is fighting it, obviously. Graham arrived at his trial like a badass, dressed in a sandwich board that said there's no such thing as a trans child. So clearly, the man is doubling down. These guys left the UK, though, because they saw the writing on the wall. I tell all my comedian friends, what are you even doing there? As Greg was talking about on Real America, you have to have the laws in place, like we have our First Amendment, and they don't really have free speech laws in the UK like we do here. And you also have the culture of free speech, which is being eroded pretty much all over the entire world. And in particular, in Europe and the UK, they just don't really believe in it. And he was talking about how he was on a BBC. There have been a lot of panels that have been going viral where these people are like, oh, we don't really see what the big deal is. It's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I do think that we here at Dumpster Fire are probably going to pivot to 90s nostalgia because I just can't really take the culture wars anymore. That's just me. I don't think you need me anymore. I think you're all grown up and you don't need my takes. No one really wants to hear reason anymore. Reason is,
no one wants nuance. This next section almost broke Bridget, so...
Before our next segment, don't forget to like, subscribe, touch my bells and buttons, and tell your friends about us. We did hit 100,000. Thank you so much. We love you. Please bear with us while we figure out how to shoot the Mexican weather report, and we will get it done before 110,000 subs. That is my promise to you. You have to stick around through the ad to see the weather report, you guys. Sorry, them's the rules. I do love the laugh track that Ben adds to that. All right, you've all heard me screaming, women! 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 For years now, I am a big advocate for women in general and women's health in particular. And that's why I love Quest's line of medical tests specifically focused on women's health issues. They offer a basic women's health profile test that gives you a snapshot of your current health and wellness. Women's hormone tests designed to identify imbalances associated with various health conditions, and specific tests for fertility, thyroid function, and even your menopause stage. The best part is you can get all this information without a doctor's visit. Simply purchase a lab-based test and access women's health testing at a nearby location, or get immediate results at home with at-home test kits. Your results are delivered online, quickly, and discreetly. For lab-based tests included with your purchase, you have the option to discuss your results with an independent physician who may be able to prescribe treatment. So ladies, prioritize your health and visit questhealth.com today. Use the code Bridget to get 25% off and find answers to the multitude of health questions you may have, like, did I get an STD this summer when I was wilding out? That's questhealth.com and use the code Bridget for 25% off. Link in the description below. Now let's check the weather with Nora Gale.
Le platico más a detalle aquí en la imagen de radar. Estamos pasando por el sistema frontal número 9 de la temporada, el cual prácticamente está avanzando todos los estados del norte, noreste, oriente y se abarca hasta el norte de Veracruz, provocado exactamente pues este descenso en las temperaturas muy marcado, y también se activa por eso el pronóstico de lluvia. Pasamos con nuestros vecinos al lado noreste de la República. Vemos que tenemos lluvias para Nuevo Laredo, mínimas de 11, máximas de hasta 16.
Thank you, Nora. She's also new. Welcome to the team, Nora. We're getting a lot of newbies.
I've found a couple new ones out there floating around.
And now, breaking Bridget! Malcom Glawell, author of The Tipping Point and Blink, has admitted that he was cowed into saying that men should compete in women's sports.
I'm ashamed of my performance at that panel because I share your position 100%, and I was cowed. the idea of saying anything on this issue, I was I believe in retrospect, in a dishonest way. I was objective in a dishonest way.
What an absolute bitch. I get it. People are very excited. People like Jennifer Say and Peter Boghossian, people I respect, they're like, we need to applaud them. If somebody admits that they make a mistake, we should allow people grace and allow them to come back in and expand our tent. And we should stand up and give them a standing ovation for doing the right thing. First of all, he didn't say he made a mistake. He said he was cowed, which means he was a coward. So he's admitting to being a coward, and he's not even saying, and I won't do that again in the future. He's saying he was bullied into this, and that leaves the door open for him to do it in the future. Glawell isn't taking any responsibility for this. He's saying he was bullied into this position. Therefore, he's a victim. And I'm sorry, but you don't get to play the victim when you allowed other people to be victimized for daring to speak up.
That's fair.
People lost their jobs, lost their livelihoods, they lost friends, they lost personal reputation. You allowed women with lesser means to be bullied by trans activists and society at large. You also allowed women to get their asses kicked in sports by men while you just sat there.
I'm gonna roll up the other women here, and I'm gonna smoke them.
You allowed detransitioners to suffer silently while they tried to speak out against this. You allowed kids to continue going through all of these transitions that are not more and more coming out that they're not medically sound while you just sat there because you were cowed by the mean media and some of your friends. And I'm not downplaying how insane trans activists have been. They are definitely terrifying. We just covered what happens in the UK. They have taken over institutions. I'm not denying any of that. We know this. We've covered this extensively on this show. But he hasn't given any kind of shout out to the people who were brave enough to say this all along. He hasn't given them any credit. He hasn't apologized to them for letting them down. Look, I give him credit for saying he was ashamed of the way he behaved. This is good. I'm someone in recovery. I've had to do a lot of amends in my time and still have to. I will never look down at somebody who's looking at their behavior, saying they're ashamed and trying to change it. But this guy writes books about social behavior, group behavior, and how to influence culture.
You're all individuals. Yes, we're all individuals.
I'm sorry. If only we had an ally with an enormous amount of influence and a huge platform and an ability to write books. Perhaps someone who has studied in great detail and made millions of dollars doing so. Social contagions! I mean, the one guy who really could have stood up and said, hey, I have some expertise in this. I see what's going on. I see it even in myself, but I'm going to be brave. And instead, it's like, oh, sorry, now that this is an okay thing to say, now that you're not going to get kicked off the New York Times bestseller list for daring to utter it, now you can say it. Sorry, I let all those Jews be murdered. I was bullied by the Nazis. Like, everyone thinks they're going to be the person that hides a Jew in their attic. And my experience of the last 10 years is that most people will be the guards at Auschwitz.
Yeah.
And this is something Dr. Drew said and Jordan Peterson and all those whack jobs.
You have to know that you're
A monster, and that you're capable of terrible things.
And now you're hearing it from me, another whack job. But it is true. In general, people want to be nice and they want to go along and they don't want to rock the boat and they don't like confrontation. Can you guys give Malcom Glawell some applause for admitting that he was scared? A grown man with multi-millions of dollars. I'm fine with him coming out, but we don't need to fucking throw the guy a party. He's not a toddler who did something wrong and then took responsibility. This is a grown man who's now blaming outside influences for him not having the balls to stand up and say a blatantly obvious truth. Also, how am I supposed to trust you about anything else in the future that you are observing? Because now I know that if that thing you're observing comes in conflict with your desire to remain in the good graces of your peer group, or because you're scared of whatever the ramifications might be for you calling out something that's blatantly true, why do I think that you're not going to choose cowardice again? More than likely you will.
Are you a pacifist? No, sir, I'm not a pacifist, sir. I'm a coward.
Yeah. I would like to think maybe you learned a lesson from this Malcom Glawell, but I am not holding my fucking breath. He trafficked in a lot of the woke stuff too. He went after Matt Taibbi and tried to imply that he was racist in a panel with Matt Taibbi. This guy has been on the wrong side of so many issues. I just don't really trust his judgment. And maybe that's what getting older is. Maybe it is just realizing that Malcom Glawell doesn't know what he's talking about.
I have no idea what's going on.
And he's a weaselly little coward. No, I get it. I get why people were scared. But, like, you know who else was scared? Women with no platform. Moms who got kicked out of their knitting groups. The consequences for somebody in his position to not say anything were so cascading. It affected the entire culture, and it slowed this whole transition, pun intended, see what I did there, down.
Right.
It slowed the pendulum down because people like him who were experts on this just sat there and did nothing.
Right. The women who were scared were the ones who were put in prison with men.
Or got their butt kicked in the fucking Olympics. And it's important that people are speaking up and taking some kind of, it's not, I can't even say that he's taking accountability. He said, I was cowed and I'm ashamed. So it's like, I'm a victim and feel bad for me. It's still not even really the kind of taking that like real hard look at how you failed.
Right.
So many people.
It's like an unapology.
It is. It's like, I'm sorry I made you feel that way.
I'm sorry about how badly I reacted to your many errors. That's as good as it's going to get, isn't it? Pretty much.
I never heard from my editor again after I called him out for their ridiculous men can have abortions editor's note. I lost work. I was probably silently kicked off of Playboy for being a TERF. Do you know how much TERFs suffered over the last decade? True repercussions, financial, social, otherwise. And now you're like, oh, I was ashamed. I was cowed. They bullied me. I'm like, get your shit together. You're a fucking grown man. You let little girls come forward as detransitioners, young women, and take on the entire fucking mob before you said something 10 years later. It's you should be ashamed. You should be embarrassed.
How dare you?
All right. Thanks for letting me get that off my chest, guys. We have one more segment, but first, let's hear from our other sponsor today, Qualia Senolytics, which will help promote healthy aging and enhance your physical prime. Senolytics are a class of ingredients discovered less than 10 years ago that help eliminate senescent cells in the body. Senescent cells, also known as zombie cells, cause symptoms of aging such as aches and discomfort, slow workout recovery, sluggish mental and physical energy associated with that middle age feeling. Think of Senolytics as pruning the yellowing and dead leaves off a plant. They remove those worn out senescent cells that allows for the rest of them to thrive in the body. And I'm excited to be partnered with Qualia. I've loved how I felt after taking the Senolytics. I feel vibrant and clear-headed. I also love that Qualia has Qualia Mind and the Energy Shot. I kind of use all their products regularly now. I really love them. I love that they have a lot of science and studies backing this stuff up that you are welcome to go peruse. Resist aging at the cellular level and try Qualia Senolytic and all their other products. Go to qualialife.com/dumpster for up to 50% off and use the code dumpster at checkout for additional 15% off. That's QUALIA life.com/dumpster for an extra 15% off your purchase. There's a link in the description below. On Tuesday, after we got done with our premiere of Dumpster Fire, it recommended the AP live stream of the Chinese military parade, which of course I was like, well, I can't miss this. As you know, I'm a Chinese military expert.
Too many of them. No, leave us alone.
I just love reading the chat during things like this. And the whole thing was very surreal. But they kept saying Xi looks like Winnie the Pooh. And they were just parading all of their military equipment that was basically stolen from American technology. This was like that scene from Thor Ragnarok where the guy's like,
Behold, my stuff.
half of it just looked like a bad CGI and like a bad video game. It was weird. There were moments where I was like, is this real? And with China, you never know. It was very nice of China to let the AP live stream their entire propaganda video that they wanted us to see. Trump tweeted, the big question to be answered is whether or not President Xi of China will mention the massive amount of support and blood, I don't know why that's in quotes, that the United States of America gave to China in order to help it secure its freedom from a very unfriendly foreign invader. Many Americans died in China's quest for victory and glory. I hope they are rightfully honored and remembered for their bravery and sacrifice. May President Xi and the wonderful people of China have a great and lasting day of celebration. Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States of America. President Donald J. Trump.
I just love the turn it takes at the end.
It really does take a turn. I'm surprised you didn't end that one with thank you for your attention to this matter.
I thought the same thing.
I love too that he's basically like, if it wasn't for America, you'd all be speaking Japanese. Get Xi.
Send my warmest regards as you conspire against America.
Yeah, it's like one of those texts from your most unhinged family member that's like, yeah, sorry I missed your party. It would have been nice to be there and see you and the family. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves while you conspired against me. I'm like, wow. Then Putin and Xi at the very end of it got caught on a hot mic talking about the merits of organ harvesting. I think this was real. Again, who fucking knows what's real anymore? As this solution to aging, they were talking about how they were 70 and they would, with organ transplants, you could now live to be 150. There's a couple of things going on here. One, it's always a little unsettling when dictators are talking about organ transplants, okay? Yes. There's just something very sinister about it. B, the conspiracies are clearly all true. The elites are just using us to harvest organs. That's probably our future. Xi is probably part Uyghur by now. And C, the good side. We probably shouldn't worry so much about nuclear war. They were talking about how they wanted to live another, double their lifespan, basically. So I'm not an optimist, but I will look on the bright side of this one. And it does seem like they're not so eager to push that red button if they're going to want to be living for another 75 to 80 years. So always look on the bright side of life.
Wow, a dumpster fire that ended kind of on the apocalypse note, but not really.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Oh no, we're definitely going to be fucking organ donors for the rich. I mean, let's not get crazy here.
Well, they'll just be able to grow their own organs.
Yeah.
Phetasy News.
Phetasy News! If you love Dumpster Fire, the best thing you can do is become a paid supporter at Phetasy.com. You get the unedited version of this Dumpster Fire, and we leave a lot of inappropriate things on the cutting room floor. You also get access to everything else we're doing, and it's a lot. Join us on YouTube every Tuesday and Friday at 9 p.m., 8 p.m. Central for a new Dumpster Fire. Thank you to everyone who helps make Dumpster Fire possible. Thank you, Ben, Kevin, and Better Phetasy. Thank you to Quest and Qualia for sponsoring today's episode. Thank you to all of you thick-skinned free speech warriors who can handle disagreement and not always hearing something that you agree with. I really do appreciate that about my audience, that you are like, I don't agree with her on that one, but she's still bonkers and sometimes funny. And now to cleanse. Oh, thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Bridget.
And now to cleanse your palate. The internet is glorious.
Andrew, last night was truly unforgettable.
Yeah, I'm sure it was for you.
You really blew my mind.
I know.
I can't stop thinking about it.
Okay, well, don't think about it anymore because the one-time thing is never happening again.
Will you come over tonight?
No, I told you. Jeez.
Please?
No.
I can call my friend Courtney. What if she comes too?
Oh my God, you and Courtney. What is with you two? I'm not gonna have a threesome with you guys, okay?
Okay, never mind. I'll never forget you.
Run, Courtney, program 3.4. Increase desperation by 80%.
Andrew, please, can we come over? I really need to see you.
Oh my God, no!
Remember, life is absurd. Don't take yourself so damn seriously. Take the work seriously. Don't take yourself seriously. This has been your Dumpster Fire. I'm Bridget Phetasy. Now make me rich!
Ding, 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 ding.
And the unicorns dance while the world burns, world burns.